If you have a Webflow website and you use RightBlogger, you're going to be really happy with the addition we made, and that is a Webflow integration. So that means anytime you use a tool in RightBlogger, like the article writer, you can send over that article to your Webflow site with a click of a button. In this video, I'm going to show you how it works and how to set it up. Let's dive in. Now you can see here, I already generated an article using the AI article writer in RightBlogger. Now, if we scroll down, you can see we have images, we have titles, things like that. And down here on the bottom, we have send to. So once you set up the Webflow integration, you'll see the Webflow logo here, and you can actually click that and it'll send over all of the content in the article you generated over to your Webflow site. And if you scroll up and you use the RightBlogger editor, and you actually edit your article here too, you can also click here and send the content to your Webflow site. Overall, a really simple way to quickly send content to your Webflow site. Now let's actually walk through the setup process, which uses projects in RightBlogger. So I'm gonna go over to the top here, and I'm gonna go to projects. You can see here I have a test project already set up. I'm going to go into that. But if you don't have any projects set up yet, you can click on this here and hit add project. Super simple. Let me jump into my test project here. And you can see here I already have put a name in. I've put the primary website URL. And I also turned on Learn from Website. That's a new feature we've added that actually will improve the outputs based on your website. And if you scroll to the top here, you can set up tool defaults, of course, which lets you easily set defaults for tools, but we're going to use the integrations tab. And you can see here we have WordPress, Ghost, and Webflow. I'm going to click on Webflow. And to set this up, we're going to need a Webflow API token. So I'm going to show you how to get that. So once you're in your Webflow site, you can see here I'm actually on the list of all sites, but if you're in a single site like this, just wait 1 second here. You can click on the very top left and hit this little drop down and click on site settings. Once you're in the site settings, this is where we can get our token to actually make RightBlogger work. So on the left side here, you'll see apps and integrations. And if you scroll down, you'll see API access. This is what we're going to need to make the token. So I'm going to hit generate API token, and I'm going to give it a name of RightBlogger. You can name it whatever you want, to make it obvious what this is connected to. Now, there are 2 permissions that we need. That is the CMS, and we're going to do read and write. This will allow RightBlogger to actually write messages to your website. And we're actually going to go down to sites and hit read only. Now, this is needed for Webflow to actually talk to RightBlogger and actually see what sites you have. But that's all we need in terms of permissions. So we're going to hit generate token, and then you'll get your API token right here. Now, keep in mind, this is the only time you're going to see this token. Of course, if you forget it, you can make a new one and put in a new value. But I'm going to hit this copy button here. So now it's in my clipboard, and I'm going to hit hide token forever. So now that we have our API token, let's go dive back into RightBlogger, into our project page, and we'll paste in our API token here. And you can see it kind of validates it real quick, and we can select our site. I only have one website, but of course, if you have many, this will be super helpful. So I'm picking my example website, and then we'll have to pick a collection. So collections in Webflow are kind of like post types. You can see I have a few example ones here, but I'm going to use the blog post collection. And then we actually need a field for the actual content. So this is where all of the actual article content is going to go. Depending on how your Webflow site is set up, you could use a different field for different things. So we have no way of universally knowing what will be your content field. But you can see here I have blog post rich text. That's the one for my theme that is the actual field. This should be fairly obvious if you're a Webflow user what to pick here. And then you can select publish instantly if you want. Now, when this is off, it'll save it as a draft, but when it's on, it'll actually publish what you send over from RightBlogger to Webflow instantly. I do always recommend leaving it off just so it's easier to go into Webflow and actually see if everything looks correct and then actually publish from there. And then we can just hit save changes. So now that we have a project set up with Webflow, we can use a tool like the article writer I showed, or even the video to blog tool. You can see here I have an example already up from the video to blog tool. And if you scroll down, you can see now on our send to button, we have the little Webflow logo. We click that. You can see my test project here and the Webflow integration, and we'll click that, and it'll send it over to our Webflow website. So now I'm back over on Webflow, and I'll just show you what it made here, which I'm going to head over to the CMS tab, and you can see I have blog posts here, a bunch of examples here, but this is the example I just sent. So we'll open that up. You can see it has the title, it has a link that it generated, and it has all of the content that the article had with proper headings. It'll also pull over images, things like that. Just verify that everything looks good, and then you can hit save and publish. And of course, you're going to be familiar with the Webflow interface, so I won't go into full details there, but that is how you set up Webflow in RightBlogger. And I hope you enjoyed this video, and remember to like and subscribe. Thanks for watching.